let's continue looking at these heroes of the faith and keep on calling some more witnesses to the stand. So I want to just, before we go on, look at Abel again. By faith, Abel offered God a better sacrifice than Cain did. By faith, he was commended as a righteous man when God spoke well of his offerings. And by faith, he still speaks even though he is dead. So why did God accept the offering of Abel and not the offering of Cain? Why was Abel's sacrifice considered a better sacrifice? And we spoke about it last time, because Abel offered God, gave sacrificially out of devotion, where Cain gave out of duty. But there's another thing I want to highlight, is that Abel put his faith in the blood, whereas Cain put his faith in the works of his hands. So to understand this, we have to go back to the first sacrifice, which happened after the fall of Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. Because Adam and Eve realized that they have lost something when they sinned. And their focus turned from God onto themselves. They felt ashamed and naked. They realized something was missing and they tried to hide from God. Then, in a foolish attempt to cover up what they did, they tried to cover themselves, as we know, with fig leaves, trying to make themselves righteous, or bring themselves in a right standing before God by their own works or efforts. So what did God do? Well, God took off their fig leaves. God took off their attempts to be righteous before Him, and He covered their sin, the sin of Adam and Eve, with the skins of animals. He covered their nakedness with the skin of animals, which shows, firstly, the seriousness of sin. Because as Hebrews says, without the shedding of blood, there can be no forgiveness of sin. And it also means that in order for us to have life, something has to die. There has to be death for us to have life. And this was ultimately a picture of how the death of Jesus will give life to the sinner. How God will take those who accept Jesus and take off our self-righteousness and efforts to try and make ourselves righteous before God, and cover us with the righteousness of Christ. Now, Abel understood this, which is why he sacrificed an animal to God. For without the shedding of blood, there will be no forgiveness of sin. So he put his faith in the blood. Cain, on the other hand, is like the rest of mankind, who actually don't put their faith in the blood, but put their faith in the works of their hands, trying to make themselves godly or righteous before God by the very acts that they do. Which means saving faith starts when we turn from our efforts to be good, stop trusting in what we do or have done, and turn our faith towards God, towards the blood of Jesus, and trust in His blood and what He has done on our behalf. For when I put my faith in the blood of Jesus, the sacrifice of Jesus, it makes me realize that He had to die so that I can live. And surely this should affect the way we live. Surely it will lead us to being willing to live a sacrificial life like Abel towards God, who sacrificed his best, his one and only Son, so that I can live. And surely it would lead to a life of thanksgiving and praise as a love response for what He has done in sending us His Son. This is what the faith of Abel is all about.